Hello, dear fellow spiritual travelers. I'm going to be talking about fashion in a very ill-fitting Garfield Neon Genesis Evangelion shirt. I looked up transmasculine fashion on YouTube and lo and behold, I was fucking disappointed. In my opinion, we need to change the way we talk about clothes, especially in trans spaces. You don't have to appeal to some heteronormative aesthetic to be accepted. And that's basically what this video is about. But before we get into it, let's hear from today's sponsor. Let's get back to the video. Here's a quick disclaimer. I would like to discourage all of you from overusing your binders. The thing is that I did some irreparable damage to my ribcage by going clubbing in binders, and I very much regret that. And the thing is that the inherent idea of, oh, you always have to conceal the natural shape of your body, or you always have to hide your boobs is unrealistic, also very harmful and fatphobic of all things. So I think we need to calm down a bit. Gender non-conforming fashion also works if you have boobs, and I want to hammer that into each one of your heads. My fucking iPad collapsed under the sheer power of my words. I think I fixed my setup. My iPad may fall down again, but at this point it's just God's wrath. Oh, whatever. What I was trying to say was that maybe we should put a little more effort towards destigmatizing boob ownership, because neither top surgeries nor binders are accessible to everyone, and we can't unfortunately change that. The only thing that people in most cases can change about their bodies is the way they're dressed. So people have begun saying that clothes don't have a gender, which obviously makes sense. I mean, you wouldn't throw a gender reveal party for a sweatshirt. But the thing is that that's kind of an oversimplification. Here's a little nugget of wisdom from me to you, and it's that certain outfits can result in gender euphoria, which is great. It happens for cis and trans people alike, and I think we should celebrate that. I mean, for example, not all trans women like dresses. Not even all cis women like dresses. Newsflash! But wearing a dress can make some trans women feel more at ease with themselves, and I think that's great and valid. I personally think that we should maybe just encourage all people, whether they're whether they are cis or trans, to experiment a bit more with their fashion, because it is, after all, the easiest way to become more comfortable with the reflection in your mirror. And you should celebrate your reflection, because it's you, and you're wonderful. You look beautiful. Just maybe not in that Hollister shirt. I think that's not a good color. But of course, people outside of the gender binary can also feel pretty great about themselves in certain outfits. But why is that? Well, history has changed the way we perceive clothes. The patriarchy and sexism have left their mark, unfortunately, and now we perceive certain things as male-coded or female-coded, because to us they're gender signifiers. Skirts and dresses used to be gender signifiers for the longest time, until local legend Jaden Smith reclaimed them for men. Thank you very much. You looked amazing doing so. I personally think that these boundaries are not only bigoted but also harmful and just shitty and boring in general, but we cannot pretend like they're not there. That would mean shitting on the experience of trans people who have to rely on passing, who have to avoid looking a certain way so they don't get hate crimed in public. And it's pretty important that we keep that in mind. And now that we've established that, we can talk about how it shapes the trans experience. And because I'm not a trans woman or a non-binary individual, I won't talk about their experiences but I can talk about my personal experiences as a trans man, because it is what I'm familiar with. Ultimately, we as men are discouraged from experimenting with our fashion because our heteronormative, capitalist, cis-normative society doesn't benefit from it. I mean, it wants to sell products made by men, for men. I mean, have you taken a look at fragrances? Oh, you don't want to smell like beef jerky or an Arctic rainforest. Well, then I guess you're just not a real man then. You fucking sissy. Aaron, Caleb, Tyler, Finn, I'm coming for your asses, because this is the exact reason why baby trans guys shop at the men's section. It's not necessarily because they want ill-fitting pants, it's because we are starved for positive gender affirmation. And it makes me so sad. If I see another one of you people walk around in a dress shirt that doesn't necessarily fit your shoulders, I'm going to have a meltdown of biblical proportions. There's just so many guides out there that discourage transmasculine people from wearing colors, or they tell you to wear the same flannel shirts and it just looks so goddamn boring. They disregard the fact that fashion evolves. And even if you're like me, if you choose not to wear skirts or dresses, you still have a billion other options that look gender non-conforming, that look masculine coded enough. You don't have to look like a Jack and Jones employee, for fuck's sake. Dude, honestly, if you think about it, being a transmasculine person is kind of funny because our clothes don't really have a gender signifier. I mean, what's a man outfit? A tuxedo? Marlene Dietrich would beg to differ. And I mean, even a conservative would agree that women can wear pants as well, that they're not a man item. Unless they're from the fucking dark ages or something. Honestly, I'm losing my mind because I'm starting to think that the most guy thing you can wear is cargo shorts. But I hate cargo shorts with a burning passion. They never look good. I'm so sorry. They fucking suck, and I think we should hunt people who wear cargo shorts for sport. I mean, luckily most items have been reclaimed and degendered, so where does that actually leave us? Is there even a boy outfit that we can sport when the gender dysphoria becomes all too overwhelming? Which doesn't have to be the case because not all of us have dysphoria, but you know what I mean. You're gonna laugh, but yes, there actually is. It's the cosplay that I put on when I have to pass in public, when I apply for a job, or when I hang out with people who haven't learned my pronouns yet and I wanna reaffirm the idea of masculinity in their heads. It's this outfit that I wear, and I call it my anti-hate crime gear. Lo and behold, here it is. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm Thomas. I am a biological male who loves beer and women. What do you mean, women's rights? They can vote, can't they? Can you tell that I like comics? Is that masculine? Please, tell me it's masculine. I bought these pants in the men's section. They're too tight around my hips, but I don't care. I'm a biological male. Do you wanna watch football? Do you wanna watch ball? It is also a look that I would personally refer to as boring. And even if the anti-hate crime gear works most of the time, sometimes it just won't help me because transphobes will hate me and my body no matter what. So I would much rather go out looking like a fucking minimum wage party clown and live my goddamn life than die as a cis bootlicker. So The only thing that I actually owe to myself is to respect my boundaries. And I know for a fact that I don't necessarily feel comfortable in skirts and dresses and high heels and makeup, but that doesn't mean that I can't look fly as hell. Well, why does it suck, you're gonna say? And the thing is that I'm not here to mock or ridicule anyone, but I just think about fashion a lot and I need to share my thoughts or else I'll shrivel up and die. My problem is that if you Google trans guy, you're gonna see the same skinny, white, androgynous guys with the same haircuts and the same floral button-up shirts, which I hate. And I will elaborate on that because I care about you. I mean, per se, there's actually nothing wrong with liking them. I'm just a very opinionated asshole and a bit of a cunt. But the thing is that they're just a bit overdone in my opinion. I mean, I get the appeal of floral button-up shirts. Generally speaking, button-up shirts are masculine coded and they frame your neck really nicely. And especially these kinds of shirts serve you a bit masculinity with a twist. Can be nice, but I think it just became so synonymous with like these 90s cis gay boys. And I'm not trying to scare you, but straight cishet men started discovering them as well, and we have to kind of elevate ourselves. We have to distance ourselves from the gray masses and become a bit more creative again. But as I said, that's just the way I see it. Cheers. Oh. So basically all I'm saying is that maybe we should stop limiting ourselves to one go-to item. But let's talk more about button-up shirts because they're comfort food. If you choose to graduate from the floral prints, you discover that there's many more designs to explore, like color block and all over prints, which I personally love. You also don't always have to button them all the way up because honestly, I feel like everyone does that. Let your collarbone breathe some air, man. But if you're not into that, try matching it with a nice shirt or sweatshirt. And while we're at it, I'll give you 3 more outfit ideas that incorporate masculine coded items and can possibly give you a bit of gender euphoria. Also, there's overalls. We need to reject modernity and embrace tradition. Overalls have always been a huge part of queer fashion, and basically they're super comfy and completely devoid of all gender signifiers. If you're like me and not a fan of your body, you can match it with a nice sweater. That way you're completely covered and don't show too much skin. 10 out of 10, we all love it. Then there's also turtlenecks. They're cool by themselves and can also serve as a funky little base for all sorts of outfits. Just get creative and figure out how you want to wear them. I promise you, they're always wonderful. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I just wanted to dress up like a pirate for no reason at all. I kind of feel like it does wonders for your self-esteem. And that's basically it. I just want to say that in conclusion, you shouldn't necessarily force yourself to look a certain way to fit into someone else's idea of a masculine person, because that's simply old-fashioned and impossible in most cases. And I am personally riddled with insecurities. I don't really like my body, I don't really like my face or my voice, but fashion has helped me to reconcile with this age-old enemy of mine, and I'm pretty grateful for that. And yep, I have nothing else to say.